Greetings and salutations, welcome to my Bethesda roundup for the E3 conference. It was pretty good. We'll quickly go through what they showed and what they didn't show and talk about, give it a rating and see what we see. So, first off, it was a weird thing. They started with all the children of the developers coming. I actually quite liked it, and it was like, what does your daddy do for a living? Oh, he plays computer games and stuff like that. That was nice. Then they did this weird cartoony Bethesda Land, which was some sort of theme park which they used to integrate all the videos to. And then obviously Pete Hines came on. And they showed a bunch of games that are already out in existence, and I thought, oh, this is not a good start, is it? Are they already having to fill a little bit here? But thankfully, they had a few bits to show us. First one was Doom VR or Doom VFR, and it looked interesting. There seemed to be some new bits. Obviously, one of the big problems with VFR, I'm just calling it VFR now. VR is movement issues and the motion sickness, and they've gone for that sort of teleport tactic where you point where you want to go to on the ground, you teleport there. I thought it's quite clever that they introduced, rather than just that being a thing, they sort of tried to integrate it into the story and it became an item. So that could be fun. I've got to be honest, I think VR's rubbish. I think it's a fad. I don't think it will be around for a massively long time. It's still way too expensive. The games, because there's not that many sold, there's not enough games coming out. There's still not, I suppose it needs a couple of real good game changers, doesn't it? It needs a couple of really good games, rather than just say Doom VR. That might be fun, but it's still just Doom VR. You want something built from the ground up for VR, brand new IP, that sort of thing. And then they also talked about Fallout 4 VR. Seems to be using more standard movement controls. You know, it might be fun for a bit, but Fallout 4 wasn't even that good, in my opinion. Don't murder me. And then they showed Elder Scrolls Online, some YouTubers reacting to a bear, because, you know, that's good. 10 million plus players, apparently. It's nice for them. Now, this is the most controversial part of what I thought of what they talked about, was a thing called Creation Club. Now, many of you will be aware that not so long ago, Bethesda tried to earn money from people, you and me, whoever, creating mods for their games, and they tried to introduce it to a Steam. So they started trying to sell them. You sell the mods as a creator, I sell the mods and give a percentage to Bethesda, and that went down like a ton of bricks. Everybody hated it. It quickly went away. But now they've got this thing called Creation Club for their various different games, and it's hard to sort of work out what it is. It's either little mini sort of DLCs or just little, you're basically paying for mods. So that seems to be the way they're getting around it. They seem to desperately want to make money off the modding scene. Whether all these mods will be by designated third parties, or if it can be Joe Blogs or whoever makes a mod and it gets, you know, like almost like Steam Greenlight, where they can put forward and it gets voted in and then it gets sold on your behalf, etc., etc. Just not a fan of it. I think modding has been around for many, many years now, and it keeps games alive, and I think once you start trying to monetize that, where does it stop? So not a fan at all of the Creation Club. Then they talked about their card game Elder Scrolls Legends, and it's got a Skyrim DLC. I've never played it. I don't really have any interest in an Elder Scrolls card game, to be honest. And it looked nice. It's cards. And then they showed Skyrim on the Nintendo Switch. We already knew that it was coming to the Nintendo Switch, which is great. If you haven't played it, and on portable, obviously, I'm not sure how well it will run. That'll be interesting to see, whether it'll be 30 frames per second. Oh, God, I sound like Total Biscuit now. Let's not talk about frame rates. They did show the motion controls that everybody's going to do for 2 minutes and then go, fuck that shit, just let me play it like a normal person. Then they showed Dishonored, the new DLC, Death of an Outsider. With a lot of Bethesda's content this year, it seemed to be a lot of rendered stuff and not enough gameplay. Just little bits here and there. And I'm not a massive fan of Dishonored, but it looked fine. It's called Death of an Outsider. Then they showed off Quake Champions, which is their It's kind of like a Quake reboot-esque, like old school Quake, really quick movement, one-shot kills, railguns, all that good stuff. Like, movement is key. I'm not going to play it because I'm okay at first-person shooters, but real Twitch-based ones like that, not a chance. Even 20 years ago, I was shit. Now I'm 40 years old, not a chance. I'm just going to be a moving target for people to hit. That would be my goal, is just to stay alive for more than 30 seconds, I think, in those games. So, yeah, not for me. But they announced the World Championships and stuff like that, you know, trying to get the esports going and stuff like that. They showed that, I don't know why companies do this, a lot of black and white images of these pretend pro gamers sitting down, getting ready. Oh yeah, I'm taking it on. When in reality, we all know if you're playing a pro tournament stuff, if you're sitting behind your computer at home, you're in your pants, you got energy drinks, it's messy as shit, all sorts. There's no sort of right, here we go like that. But you know, it's a bit of fun. And then by this point, and I knew it was only roughly over an hour, and I was like, this is a little bit weak. I've got to say, this press conference is a little bit weak. Half of it has been showing us what's already exists in the world. And then they showed Evil Within 2. Evil Within was okay. But again, they didn't show much gameplay. It was right at the end. They showed a quick fire clips of a little bit of gameplay, which is weird. I could understand that if it was out next year or 2 years or whatever, but it's supposed to be out October. So it's like, well, it must be nearly complete. So show us a bit more of it. Show us a guy playing it or something. It would have been a lot better, because although the cinematic was lovely and they had all this weird milk shit floating up and swallowing bodies and doing stuff, it wasn't that interesting. Like, it just didn't mean anything. It's just a nice cinematic. But that's coming out in October. You know, one of the good things about Bethesda is they tend to do that. They don't tend not to show you a game that's going to say released in 2024. Good luck, have fun. It's generally quite quick release dates. And the last thing, and the best thing of all, was Wolfenstein New Collusus. It's got a robot Nazi dog. There was a brilliant. If you played New Order, you'll be very excited about this. If you haven't played New Order, what the fuck is wrong with you? Go and play New Order. And it started off with a weird sort of 50s TV show where the little girl's picking up groceries, and then a friend has got his leg stuck under a truck, and she whistles, and then comes out a giant robot Nazi dog that then helps the guy, but then decides to kick his truck and burn it to the ground. And then again, they showed lots of cinematic-y stuff, and I was like, oh, not again. Show us some gameplay. But then they did show us a decent amount of gameplay at the end, and you can dual wield, and you can ride the aforementioned giant Nazi dog thing. That looks lots of fun. It's very quick pace, very shootery. It's got a bit more comedy. I thought there was a bit more tongue-in-cheek thing. It's like, you know, previous Wolfenstein was quite serious and dark. This has got some really, really fun moments. Randomly saw, just as it was panning through, like some guy arresting or with two members of the KKK with the white hats and shit. That was just weird. And then a Nazi buying a milkshake, as you do. So overall, as conferences go, I won't compare it to sort of Sony and Microsoft, because their breadth of games is ridiculous. But I thought it was okay. I felt like it missed, because there's no new IP there. It's all on top of previous stuff or sequels. There was a rumour of Starfield and other things. I was just hoping for some little gem at the end, even if it wasn't something that was out this year, maybe something next year. Just a little teaser of something great, but it didn't really happen. I liked the fact that they kept it clean and didn't add too much fluff, so there was just like bang, 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 bang. Thank you very much, goodbye. They didn't try and filler it too much, but I would have appreciated more gameplay. So I'm going to say, I'm going to give it, so I gave EA 4 and I gave Microsoft 7. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to say 4. I was going to say 5, but for this Creation Club, which I'm really wary of, they lose a mark. Because, you know, they're going to be watching this, so they're going to be gutted, probably cancel it. So I'm going to say 4 out of 10 for the Bethesda the conference. Wolfenstein is the big deal for me. If they hadn't shown that, then it would have been 2-1. But Wolfenstein is a fantastic game. Right, it is now 6 a.m. in the morning. I'm going to go and edit this video and then render it and upload it and SEO it and make a thumbnail. And then I'm going to go collapse in bed. I think it's worth a like just for the pity vote of me staying up to having to watch that. Right? Fair enough. Right, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like it. Subscribe if you're new. I'm doing all the conferences. I think I've already planned next year on E3. I'm going to do like live streams so we can chat about it live. But let me know in the comments what you thought about the conference, what you liked, what you didn't like. Let me know what your thoughts on the Creation Club, because I'd really like to hear your input for that, because that's going to divide a lot of people, I think. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.